Last year, I asked the question, can you beat NieR Replicant version 1.22474487139 without using grimoire weiss? Basically not allowed to use range attacks, magic, or use word edits that can buff your stats. The answer was an astounding no. The first time was to trigger some dialogue. I continued because I didn't hurt anything. Second was in a room where you could only use magic to destroy some cubes. So again, I didn't hurt any enemies and continued on. But then the boss of the area was slightly out of range. I tried hitting them at different spots, but young subscribe just couldn't reach the boss. In the end, I would have to use magic to hurt an enemy, so I ended the video there. Some people thanked me for doing a challenge run on this game, and one said just continue the run and see how many times you need to use magic. I think that's what they said. It's been so long since I checked, and I could just be making it up so I can play this game again and make a video out of it. So that's what we're doing! Only using magic when we need to, no word edits, and playing on hard mode. To count how many times we use magic, I'm not going to count each shot, but each enemy I have to kill with it. Each phase with the boss, or if I need to shoot it or shoot at something. Luckily, we got Wiess in the corner to help us keep track. And oh yeah, write your guesses down below in the comments section to help with the engagement. I need to appease the YouTube overlords. Since this is a continuation of the last video, please go check that video now. We're already at 2 uses of Wiess. So let's go fight that cube boss. First phase, we have to use magic to shoot the cubes. In the second phase, we don't. Wait for the cubes to turn red to damage them while dodging its attacks. Not too hard. But Kanye joins the fight.
I'm gonna kill the shit out of you. Now hold still and die already.
For phase 3. Now Kanye has and will get beaten up a lot, but now finally has the chance to show off their power. Apart from the time where they absolutely destroyed me in the first part. The boss has decided to fly back so my weapons can't reach it. Only magic. Then it happens. A cube destroyed. Yeah, I can't use magic since I have to use Wiess, but Kanye doesn't need Wiess for magic. You know what that means? Time lapse of Kanye killing all the cubes. For reference, the first 4 took about 12 minutes. Then the next lot of cubes took about 8 minutes. Then 4 minutes. And then the final lot around 3 minutes. But I have to damage the boss with magic, so we're up to 4 uses. Oh yeah, Zelda reference. Now that's out of the way, I don't think we're going to be needing to use magic for a while, as the Forest of Myth is a text-based adventure. The 3 people here are trapped in their dreams, and by talking to the mayor, you've also been sucked into his dream. How you talk to the mayor if he's dreaming is beyond my pay grade. So read through a bunch of texts, solve some riddles. Not too hard. The first is secret.
Is it secret? Is it safe?
Second is sunlight. And the final one is a man.
What is a man? A miserable little pile of secrets.
Off to Seafront to face the mini-boss that kicked my ass the first time we met. Hits me a few times, but I only need to heal once. Then it hits me again, but I'm not too worried as it's basically dead. My reward is a word, and I can't use words, but at least I showed the boss who's boss. Ask him some questions to get a job done. Yona made a pen pal who really needs our help, so we head to this creepy mansion. Yeah, this whole area is a Resident Evil reference. Even has the fixed camera angles, Dutch angle I believe, that are up high so you can almost see everything. And in certain areas the camera does pan to follow you. Turns out the butler has been sending the letters in the hopes we can find a cure for Emil. A person who has the power to turn anything into stone with his gaze. Go around finding keys. Eventually Emil joins up, turning enemies into stone that subscribe can break. Oh yeah, our name in this is subscribe, which you should totally do. The combat in this area is a little awkward. Feels like I can't dodge most of the time, though having Emil here is helping once you get him. Make it to the boss, which is another book like Wiess, but doesn't seem to be able to communicate. I wonder if there are any more books like Wiess. No timers, we're getting paper cut to death. Yeah, the pages in this book are really sharp. Luckily, Emil can turn them into stone, thus destroying them. So I hit when I can, dodge and block when I can't. Second phase, Book turns into a bull. Dodge the attacks, and Kanye turns up. Yeah, she disappeared earlier on when we arrived at the mansion. Not too much else to say, the boss goes down. Kanye talks to Emil and whispers something in his ear. Mysterious. And now we have collected all the sealed verses so we can save Yona. Yeah, that's Subscribe's younger sister, the one with the black scroll. Things are finally starting to look up. Emil arrives to tell us a giant shade is approaching, and he's not wrong. But first, we gotta kill some shades before the boss appears. The boss decides to stand on the wall, so I can't hit him with my sword. Luckily, he does occasionally ground pound with their fist. When they do, I can get a few hits in. But I realize this might be a losing battle, as the boss can summon ads and my attacks target them, and my damage is so low that I don't think I can trigger the circle in time. And hit it, as the boss will quickly lift the fist back up out of range of my weapon. So I do some side quests to level up. I get up to level 16, a couple levels higher than I was. I don't want to over level and make every fight a walk in the park. I just need to do enough damage so I can trigger the circle and get some hits in. Round 2! Similar to the first round, but I'm doing a little more damage. The plan is to plan when the circle appears, getting the health bar close to triggering it, then when I think it will appear, go out attacking, triggering the circle and doing some damage. Then the boss will move the arm out of my way, the circle will go, the boss will restore health, and I just need to do the first step again and again till the circle breaks. It's not easy as the ads get in the way. I have to move behind the shades and in front and then be close enough to trigger the ground pound, otherwise it will just spawn shades to shoot balls at me. But I break the circle. Second phase starts as a race to the bridge. Well, I say race, at this point you could use magic to damage the boss before you start fighting at the bridge, but I can't since no magic, so I just rush to the bridge to fight. Gotta damage the other arm now. The boss likes putting it away from the bridge, but will often slam it on the bridge and then leave it there for a little while. While it's out of reach, I can still hit the boss, but the circle appears on the other arm, so I hit the boss and arm to trigger the circle and hit it till the circle breaks.
Look where it's headed.
Like hell it is.
Third phase, attack its feet. Then Kanye comes in for fourth phase, and the boss is walking to the library. You gotta beat it before it reaches, otherwise it's game over.
Shit!
No.
Whoops. Checkpoint at the start of this phase. Use a strength potion to boost damage so I can double the damage and beat it before it reaches the library. Need to hit its head, which I do. Get a cutscene. I missed. Yeah, it pulls its head back out of range. You gotta be quick or game over.
Shit!
Same plan as before, but for the second head hit, I use magic. I think you could do it without, but you gotta be real quick. This takes our magic count to 5. Speaking of 5, time for phase 5. This boss is now just a head with some tentacles, no biggie as we destroy each tentacle. They all have the circle, but no timer, that's safe for the head. Once we beat the boss, it's still not done, so we lock it deep in the library. Kinda. Kanye's holding the door, but the monster's gonna get out. But oh no, a mysterious shade that looks like Subscribe appears. We now have to fight Grimoire Noir, who's such an asshole, but we'll get to that later. Anyway, it's another book fight similar to the first one, only this time it's a lot easier. Does less damage and shoots out magic, but like the first book fight, this also has a second phase of becoming a ball. Oh yeah, during these bosses there were some ads I needed to kill, and as a result I leveled up a couple of times without realizing, so I beat this phase also no problem.
We must finish this quickly.
Weiss!
With the book defeated, the shade that looks like us, known as the Shadow Lord, kidnaps Yona, and Kanye is about done holding the door, so she asks Emil to do the thing she asked outside the mansion. Kanye gets turned into stone to stop the shade from escaping. So to recap, we've lost Yona, but more importantly, we've lost Kanye. This was not a good day.
Weiss.
Spare me the goodbye, hussy.
So what does every good shonen anime need? No, not at all an arc. A time skip. It's a few years later and Subscribe has grown up. With this time skip comes the power to wield new types of weapons, namely the two-handed sword and spear. I keep with the last weapon, Faith, the one-handed sword for now, as I fight these armored shades that are a pain in the ass to kill. The word edits would help break the armor, but can't use them, so it's going to be a slogfest to kill them. We visit Popolo, who hasn't aged a day. Anyway, Emil may have found a way to free Kanye, so it's off to the mansion. Emil also hasn't aged a day. This is getting weird. Brush it off as we discovered a secret underground facility. This next section is a top-down isometric view. Think an ARPG like Path of Exile. Fun fact, you can rotate the camera in this section. I never did, as normally I could blast my way through, but since I don't have the power of word edit, my attacks are a lot weaker. Fight through the enemies, and I decide to use only spears from now on. In my last through playthrough, I used one-handed or two-handed swords, and never spears, so for this run I'm going to use only spears to see what it's like. Couple of mini bosses in here, they go down fairly easy. A lot of this is find a key to open a door while waiting for Emil to catch up. As you go down further and further, you discover Emil is some sort of super weapon. Well, his sister is, but he was given the power of petrification to stop his sister. We finally get to his sister, and Emil is like, "You've ever seen Men in Black 1?" and gets eaten. This is another mandatory magic boss fight. The boss is immune to all physical attacks, and Weiss starts screaming at you to stop as you could hurt Emil. So that makes 6 uses of Weiss as I turn my brain off and just start spamming magic. Except I also have to dodge its magic attacks. This fight isn't too hard since I don't have to get close to the boss. Emil fuses with his sister, becoming the mascot of the franchise, and Subscribe isn't even phased because we got more important things to do. Emil uses his powers to free Kanye, who also hasn't aged a day. But no time for celebration as the shade that was locked away is still active. It's the same as its Phase 5 fight. With the new weapon I brought from the shop, this boss goes down in no time. Kanye wakes up, recognizes Emil despite the new look. Then Deviler and Popola kick Emil Kanye out of the village because the villagers are afraid of them. Yeah, they're afraid of the ones who saved this village. Anyway, Subscribe is super pissed and wants to kill Deviler and Popola. Is that foreshadowing, I see? Though he calms down and realizes that Kanye never really entered the village and always waited outside. Feeling guilty, he does offer to stay outside with them, and some sort of protest But this is the no subscribe club and they tell him he can rest in his house. Thanks, I think? Anyway, we get the deets on the Shadow Lord, the shade that looks like us, who is somewhere in the Lost Shrine. Best head over there by using the ferry, and it's the guy from one of the side quests. Anyway, make our way through, then fight this mini boss at the top of the entrance of the chamber, who knocks me all the way back down to the bottom. So I gotta climb the stairs, go through several rooms again just to make it to the top again. His health bar disappears because it took so long to get back up, but I don't need it as I kick his ass for making me do all that again. Now for the boss fight. It's the last remaining guardian from the first time we entered the Lost Shrine. Similar attacks as before, but when it puts up its shield, shades start attacking. Not to worry, as there is now a hole in the ceiling, so I stand in direct sunlight and the shades insta-die. Now with this fight, we have the combined powers of Emil and Kanye goes down. But not to worry, as we still beat the boss with no problems. Then the real boss appears. The shade possessing Kanye takes over it and attacks. This boss likes going up on the wall, then shooting a wall of magic at us. This is fine as I can jump attack, or just wait for it to go on the ground. The circle appears but disappears just as quickly. Even if you do hit the circle, you don't have enough time to do the required damage for it, so the bar resets. When the boss health is at 0, however, then the circle appears and stays on the screen for the same amount of time as any other boss circle would. You can finish the fight early, but we don't have that kind of power, and we didn't need it.
Oh dear.
We need 5 new quest items to break his seal so we can go confront the Shadow Lord and finally save Yona, who still has the Black Scroll maybe? I don't know, but what I do know is we have a choice on where we can go. I start with the Forest of Myth since this section requires 0 combat. Talk to a tree who has a shade inside of it, messing it up. The tree is some sort of hard drug, but enough of that. How do we complete this part? Simple. The tree tells a story. In that story is a key detail you need to remember. For example, the first one is the color of the eye of the visitor. Brown in our case. Second is how many warriors did this female warrior fight with, 33 in our case. And finally, the answer is Yona. These are random each time, except for the last one is always going to be Yona. I've done this bit, God knows how many times. 11 times possibly? I know what I'm looking for. Anyway, we get our second cipher piece. That's the new main quest item we need. It's off to meet the brothers. Okay, just Gideon, the younger brother, who now really hates robots. No! He doesn't know anything about no key to no Shadow Lord, but gives us a broken weapon. Thanks, I think? He can repair it though, but needs the materials from robots. So it's off to go kick some robot ass, and they kick my ass instead. Just like my first time going to the junkyard, these guys are tough. Mainly due to that electrical attack that is designed to be fought at a distance. Eventually make it to one of the big robots for the mini-boss battle. This boss likes creating electric field around its feet, which stuns you if you land in it. After taking enough damage, the boss starts spraying magic that I just gotta wait out. They don't cover the whole area, so I just stand back and wait. The boss is not too tough, just a lot of waiting to attack. The fight went so well that I did it again, to hopefully get some good materials to level up some of my weapons. Go back to Gideon, who will let us know when the weapon is ready, and hey, he's gonna fix it for free since we killed all those robots.
Sense in you waiting around, that would be great.
Get a quest to kill a powerful shade that's been hanging around a bridge in the Northern Plains. The quest reward is a weapon, so gonna attempt it, but the shade doesn't always appear. Luckily for me, it does! Unluckily for me, the boss can one-shot me, and when I reload back in, he doesn't respawn. Okay, I may need to come back later on this. We needed to cross the bridge anyway to head to the area. Apparently, the mayor knows something about one of the keys, and they're having a market. Wait, is this the same place that refuses to talk to anyone and everyone spends all their time indoors? Anyway, we speak to the mayor who doesn't know anything, so we head to the market and we speak to the guard who may or may not know something. Guard acts strange. Salty gets concerned. The guard turns into a shade. See, I knew it! I knew it! I knew there was something wrong with this guard. It turns out some of the villagers are shades, so we go around killing some of them, which takes a little while as some of them are tough. Eventually the shades start grouping up and turn into one giant shade that becomes another boss we need to beat. Phase 1 we can damage the boss, but we have to waste heals to do so. Then the boss starts spewing ads. Yeah, the boss backs away and you have to hit it with magic, bringing it up to 7 uses. Emil holds off the boss attacks while you run around the back for phase 2, which you guessed it, you have to use magic to damage. We are now up to 8 uses since these are different phases. After enough damage, the final phase. Similar to phase 1, it will occasionally come in closer so you're able to attack it with weapons, but will back away. Not sure if you need to kill a certain amount of ads or damage like the first phase, so I use magic bringing it up to 9 uses, but I have to use magic to damage the circle anyway. The boss is beaten, but not really, so Emil steps up and solos the boss. Yeah, you take that bitch. Oh no!
He's gone. His instincts have taken hold. The ultimate weapon is being deployed.
Emil loses control and wipes out the entire area. Emil must have the power to take out like an alien invasion. It's okay though, because Emil saves Subscribe and Kanye, and no one else matters. Plus, they were kind of bad people anyway, and some of them were even shades. I mean, shades and man living together? Perish the thought. Oh yeah, we get another cipher piece. After that, it's back to the junkyard for our new weapons we won't be using ever in this run. Right. Gideon mentions his brother was killed by a robot that was with a shade, and Subscribe Bloodlust kicks in and just wants to go kill that shade. So it's back through the junkyard we go, fighting one of the robot bosses again for good measure, but this section in the car is scary. Normally you can use magic and shoot everything, but I can't, so it's a lot of dodge rolling and praying I don't have to waste too much on healing. On the plus side, these flying robots follow me, which means I can kill them and pick up the loot they drop. We make it to the boss. Looks like any of the other robot bosses we fought, but this time it's got a shade on its head. And clearly, the shade must be controlling the robot. Right, Kanye? Phase 1, the fight is like any of the other robot bosses we've done. It just has more health and hits harder. Phase 2, it gains the ability to fly, which means it likes spending a lot of time out of my range of my weapons. I can only attack when it's in the center of the arena, but it creates a large electrical field, so when my combo is over, I fall into the electric field and I get stunned. A lot of this phase was using Emil and Kanye to do the damage. Finally, the robot goes down and the shade falls off. Now's our chance, but more shades turn up. Oh no! Luckily, I lock onto the correct shade and just focus on killing it. It's just a regular shade, so it goes down easy. Gideon runs in and starts kicking the robot. God, I would hate to see this guy pilot a robot. I bet he would spend most of the time not getting into the robot. Then we get Wiess telling us how bad revenge is. Subscribe is totally gonna learn that lesson. And oh yeah, we get another cipher piece. Back in the brothers Gideon's shop, I upgrade the sphere and get a mission to go back in and kill an army of shades. I get to the floor, Wipe out some shades, no issue. Then enter this room.
It's a trap!
So this room will spawn shades that are harder and harder to kill, and with not much room to move and dodge in, I quickly get overwhelmed in the later fights. At first, it's not too bad, but as more and more armored shades appear, I start burning through resources just to survive. Eventually, I dwindle down the remaining shades and somehow make it out in one piece. Then I get a quest to kill a strange shade in the manor. The shade's just looking at books. Emil's kinda down to kill it, so I guess we gotta kill it. The only issue is, all my physical attacks don't seem to phase it. The shade's just taking it, as it looks through War and Peace, I guess. I switched to two-handed weapons, nothing. Then swords, nothing. I get so desperate I use magic, which the game punishes me when I use magic, as it damages you, so you don't need to use magic in this fight, so I'm not counting it. Eventually my brain goes, you need to break its shield with a heavy attack, but the spear and sword do nothing. I guess the game wants me to use a particular weapon, and since it's post-junkyard, I whip out the weapon Gideon made me, and it works. Break the shield, attack! Repeat for a little while. The shade doesn't even fight back, so eventually it goes down. We return to the village to be informed the ferryman has gone missing, and some other people from Seafront have gone missing too. Oh yeah, in Seafront a shipwreck has appeared on the beach. Anyway, we asked the wife about the ferryman, then his brother, and all signs lead to the shipwreck. There is some side missions you can do involving the ferryman and his wife, which I did before this bit just to get more story on this happy couple. Why do I bring this up? Well, I explore the ship, but Kanye can't stand the stench, so we go it alone. We find a girl and follow them, but keep missing them. Eventually, Subscribe falls, finds his lantern again. Oh yeah, he picked it up at the entrance. Turns it on, and oh sweet Mary and Joseph! We found the people. Well, what's left of them anyway. Eventually we reach the girl, who is a shade. Then a postman arrived who's been looking after the girl, as he didn't know it was a shade. Anyway, it's a shade, so attack time, and oh sweet Jesus, she got big real fast. This is a fight I was kinda dreading. It's why I did a few side quests before attempting this boss, as it's on the tougher side, plus you can get a nicer ending if you kill it quick enough. That's not gonna happen, so I attack the arms when I can, doing a lot more damage than I thought I would do. Kill the tentacles as they appear while trying to dodge most of the boss attacks. Phase 2, we get kicked off the ship and I have to wait for the boss to attack using its arms so I can hit them. The boss does a big attack and you're meant to use magic to stop it. So I do, making it 10 uses now, but I can't do enough damage. Basically, the postman comes in and starts attacking the shade. Kanye before used them as a distraction since the shade really likes them, which makes the shade not fight back, giving us a chance to kill it. Using magic. Okay, it's a scripted sequence that turns into like a third-person shooter. Look, it's even got an aim reticle. But we do have to use magic, so let me know in the comment section whether this is the 11th use or we're going to stick with 10. The boss goes down.
You disgust me.
For all my fears, the fight went a lot easier, so maybe I'm over-leveled. Before attempting to get the final cipher piece, we tell the ferryman's wife he's dead. You can lie, but not much changes on either options, as they're both sad and don't affect the overall story. It's a minor RPG choices you can do. I finish a collecting quest where I need to find these crates and not look in them. My reward is the Seafront item store gives me a discount and a brand new healing item. It's expensive, but fully heals you, so I'm going to buy me some of those. See, not looking through other people's stuff pays off. The King of Facade invites us to his wedding. It's a nice event for the people dancing and cheering. And Wolf's killing the Queen. Jesus, can we not have a goddamn happy moment in this game without something coming along and ruining it? One of the wolves is a shade, so we beat the crap out of it. It can deflect magic, but we don't care, so we beat it till it's half health, at which point it runs off. We decide to go kill it. I should mention the Queen is the girl who led us through the sandstorm in the first part. The King is like, you can't, but we're like, yeah, we like the queen too. So we're gonna go kill the wolf. And the royal guards are like, King, you can't! But we're coming along too because we like the queen, and the wolves totally attacked us unprovoked.
Right.
So it's off to the wolf's den. Before you can fight the boss, you gotta kill wolves. Shocking, I know. Nothing special. After that, the Shade Wolf comes along. It's pretty much the same fight back at the wedding. Don't use magic so it can't deflect it, and just hit the boss. Attacks are easy to dodge. I get the circle to appear, but I'm too far away to finish the circle, so I gotta hit the boss some more to finish it. I say I finish it. The king comes in with the final blow, and with that, the final cipher. At this point, I could go off and do some more side quests, upgrade some weapons, but the last few bosses haven't been much of a challenge, and I don't want to get too overpowered. So I opt to resupply and head straight for the Shadow Lord. Devil and Poplar see me off. They seem somewhat reluctant for me to go. We head to the Lost Shrine for the last time. Maybe. Reach the seal, break the seal, and enter a garden. Two birds who may be machines ask me some questions. Get them right and you can enter. Get them wrong and, well, you're out of luck. I answer them and are allowed in, where I see Deviler and Poplar? They ask if I would just turn around and go back to the village. But no, I came here to end this and I don't want to go through the Lost Shrine again, so we fight. Now, I know this is going to be a boss rush, so I try to conserve some healing items. But sucks to be me because they keep hitting me with their magic. They take back the sealed verses. Great, how am I going to cure Yona now? And apparently it was their magic to begin with. So they could have helped Yona this whole time. Like I mentioned, they spam magic, so I have to wait or just tank the hits so I can damage them. One fights up close while the other likes fighting at a distance. The fight is more of a prelude to what's to come. Eventually though, I do enough damage to them, they end the fight, telling us the answers we seek are further in.
Shadow Lord. So you've been on his side this whole time?
You must search for that answer yourself.
We enter a room with dancing ghosts. This place seems kinda nice. Hopefully we can just walk past and oh god, they're shades. Fighting them is not too bad until magic spewing flying ones enter the fray. Kanye goes off to open the door, which leaves me and Emil to deal with the remaining shades. I focus on the ground shades as they're easier to hit and I just let Emil fight the flying shades. I say let. It's up to Emil's AI what he does at this point. This takes me a while as I'm trying to work out when I can hit them as they shoot magic just as I'm about to attack. Again, trying to save my heals but end up wasting them. This takes a while and at some points I just go onto dodge duty praying Emil can deal with them. And eventually we clear the room of shades. Phew. Then shade balls show up so I kick their asses until another magic flying shade shows up. Emil, you know what to do. Okay, well, no need. It fuses with the balls to form a shade ball. At least it's not flying around. Yeah, it's the ball model scaled up and given a shade texture. Compared to the onslaught of shades and flying shades, this boss is easy. Spoiler alert, you fight this boss a lot. Especially if you're going for the true ending, so I know what to expect. Dodge attacks and hit when I can. Then it goes down. Then he gets back up again, and you gotta do it again. Eventually you have to escape the ball by running up some stairs, then enter a large room. The Facade King and his guards show up. How the hell did you guys get here? Okay, no time for that, we gotta kill the boar again. The king tells you to leave and seals the door behind you, getting ready to fight the boar with his guards to the death. Subscribe can't handle that, and Kanye slaps him out of it.
Knock it off already. Let's go.
Kaine.
We get our shit together and move on to Deviler and Poplar again. Who explains Project Gestalt. Kinda. The big reveal here is all the humans in the world are not really humans, they are shells waiting for the actual humans who are the shades.
What a twist!
To rejoin with them. So yeah, all the shades you've killed humans, all the coloring books you find when killing smaller shades. Yeah, maybe you could have explained this all earlier, but no, fight time. So this is a lot easier than the first. as only Deviler will fight while Popola shoots magic up to the side. I say shoot magic. They create a protective magic ball shield around Deviler, and Deviler's attacks are so easy to read. This fight is dodge, attack, dodge, attack, dodge, and you get the idea. And we beat Deviler so bad she dies. Popola loses her shit and starts blasting balls, and the only way I can hit her is to get hit by tons of balls. Once again, I have to waste a lot of healing items. Emil has the plans to escape, but Popola is like, no. So Emil sacrifices himself to save Subscribe and Kanye. Emil once again showing why he's the face of the franchise. Kanye and Subscribe are a little in shock, but Kanye tells Subscribe to get a grip. We gotta save Yona, otherwise Emil and an entire kingdom's sacrifice will be in vain. I'm starting to think maybe this isn't worth it. Fight through some shades, which helps restock my healing supplies, and it's time for the final battle with the Shadow Lord. Yona is still alive, yay! But the Shadow Lord appears. Just in case you haven't figured it out yet, the Shadow Lord is Subscribe. The Subscribe at the beginning of the game, and you've been playing the shell this whole time. No time for that, we got another book fight. Same as the others, only this time this book creates smaller books that shoot out magic. It's nothing new, so this fight is easy. And I kinda wanna beat up Noir for not telling Weiss the truth outright. Maybe instead of being so cryptic, he could have said, hey, shades are humans, and humans are the shell, and the whole point is to reunite humans to the shells. But no, he had to be all mysterious and evil. Shadow Lord wants to fight now. A lot of dodging and healing when I need to. His attacks are telegraphed well, so you should be able to dodge, and since I know I'm near the end, I'm not fussed about on how much healing items I use. We kick his ass. And Yona gets up. Yay, we finally reunited, and she walks over to the Shadow Lord. Yeah, the Yona from the beginning of the game is now possessing the current or the shell Yona, and Shade Yona is like, yeah, the shells have developed souls of their own, so I'm gonna go off into the sunlight. Hopefully this doesn't damn humanity or anything. Kanye take care of the depossessed shell Yona while we take care of the Shadow Lord. This phase is a gimmick. You start at the opposite end of the room to the Shadow Lord while he shoots magics in a pattern that you have to dodge. Do this 3 times to win. Subscribe shakes his head, wondering if he kills the Shadow Lord, will this doom humanity? Oh well, we do it anyway. Yona's fine, and Kanye walks off, and Subscribe is all like, you want to stay with us? And Yona is like, ignore that hussy, pay attention to me. And with that, we've beaten NieR Replicant with using magic only 10 or 11 times. Which was more than I thought it was going to be. I forgot just how often the bosses require you to use magic, but I'm glad I continued this one. While it's not difficult, not using the words edits forced me to learn other mechanics in the game. That being, use items that buff attack or defense. While I could go for the true ending here, there's not much point. You replay the game from rescuing Kanye from the library like 4 more times, and the bosses don't scale. The hardest the bosses are ever going to be is in the first playthrough. Or the first ending. Then you replay young NieR up until the part you beat a giant shade in the area the second time with Kanye. Then you play as Kanye, and guess what? Kanye doesn't use Weiss. But if you still want to see that, I'll have a playlist of my full playthrough of NieR Replicant. If you got any suggestions for NieR Replicant challenges or any other game in the NieR franchise, let me know in the comments section below, and I'll see you in the next one.